What's up? What's up? It's your boy Raymond for Building Wealth While Black. We back with another episode. I want to be the information plug for you. I want to go out and learn things and bring it back to my community. No gatekeeping here. This week, we're going to do a behind the camera series where I go out to entrepreneurs, see what they're doing, and share it with you. I think this week, we're going to go and feature my boy Jamel. He's out there in Pasadena, right outside of Houston. He's flipping houses. Most people are doing new development, but he's flipping houses. So let's get into it and see what he's doing. We have Jamel Rosemond here at one of his flips here on the east side of Houston, Pasadena?
Southeast side, Pasadena.
Southeast side? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna just give you guys a little pan around so you can see a little bit. This project is probably about 90%.
Yeah, we're about 90% of the way there. We have some things to kind of wrap up and finish off, but yeah, we're about 90% of the way complete.
All right, man. So let's take a look inside.
Let's take a walk in.
All right, we step inside this beautiful property here in Pasadena. So, like I said, I like to do these interviews now on spot. We're not getting out the studio, and so you guys, if you guys want to learn or get a little knowledge about flipping homes, I'd rather show you guys on spot. So, once again, this is Jamel. Tell a little bit about yourself and how you got into flipping.
Yeah, so I have always been fascinated with real estate. Actually, when I was in high school, I would literally be on the MLS, be online, Zillow, HAR, looking at houses, telling my mom and dad, like, hey, we need to go buy this because it's like 30-40% cheaper than all the houses in the neighborhood. They never listened to me, but kind of after that, I went to school, got my degree in accounting, got my CPA license, and then after I finished off with college, even like leading up to me finishing off college, I continually saved. I was like, I'm buying a house. Like, when I get out, I'm buying. Like, that's what's gonna happen. So I bought a fourplex back in 2021, and currently renting that out and stuff. But then the agent that I bought that fourplex with, she was like, hey, like I flip houses and all this other stuff. I was like, hey, well, show me the game about this. And she started kind of showing me the game, and then I hopped in like full throttle last year, bought 5 houses at once. Man. It was a wild while working full time. Super crazy, but luckily pushed through. I'm still here. Right. There are definitely moments where it was a huge struggle. Almost ran broke several times. But luckily I had my job to kind of at least pay the bills, keep things moving.
And that's awesome. So tell a little bit about you said your first purchase in real estate was a fourplex. So did you stay in it too, or you just brought it out and rent it out?
There's a fine line. I did keep one unit empty, right, and I would work from there, do my stuff. I stayed there in and out, okay, kind of moving around town, doing things. But yeah, definitely aligned with the requirements of FHA loans.
Right, I got you. So you still have that fourplex right now?
Oh yeah, so like with that particular house, and is one thing that I don't see promoted a lot is 203K loans. So I bought that house with the 203K loan, and what they basically do, they allow you to purchase the home, they give you the funds to buy it, and then they give you funds on top of that to basically rehab it, to make it more livable. So that was like my first introduction to rehabbing. Actually.
So is that an FHA loan too?
Yeah. Okay. So it's an FHA loan, only had to put down 3.5%. And then got, I don't know, I think it was like $15,000, $16,000, maybe $17,000 to add some AC units, do some maintenance around the house, foundation and stuff like that.
Because I heard about that process, but is that, you feel like that's a lot harder process, or do you think people just make it seem harder to get that type of rehab loan?
Yeah, no, I mean, they definitely scrutinize. So like you have to have your ducks in a row. Your contractors have to be licensed. You have to oftentimes pull permits. They inspect it halfway through. to make sure that you're actually doing what you said you are doing, and then they have draws that you pull on and pay the contractors as you go.
It was like a real construction loan.
Yeah, so it was legit. You having to align with what your scope of work was, and then they disperse the funds out to the contractor. But it all worked out. I still have it. We're fully occupied now. Now that I've passed my year seasoning period.
So that was just only a year ago?
That you have to live on the property.
Right, I'm talking about, so how long ago was that first purchase?
2 years ago. So I bought it in 2021.
So you pretty new at this. So it ain't like you've been doing this for 10, 20 years.
No,
so you just jumped in. That's awesome.
Just hopped in.
That's
for
awesome,
sure.
man. Let's talk about this property real quick. So are you able to give like a little bit of what you got it at, or?
Yeah. So I bought this house, whenever I purchased it, it literally had no walls, nothing. And I bought it for $95K. And the rehab initially, we were thinking it would be around $60K. Mm-hmm. And then we're pushing for ARV around $210. So not a huge profit, but decent enough to pique my interest. Right. The owner who lived in this house had like 8 dogs running around everywhere. Just chaotic, smelled horrible, disgusting, definitely not good living conditions. And so we basically gutted the entire thing, replaced everything, wires, plumbing. Everything here is brand new, basically. And it's come a long way. We still got a little way to go, but definitely excited to be there at the finish line.
Right, that's awesome. Let's do a little walk around a little bit. So while I'm asking questions here, so it look like this is the living rooms / kitchen.
Yeah, so we wanted the space to be open. So this was kind of closed off-ish. There were posts here. It wasn't sheetrock, but there was posts here. Right. So we opened up this space to just make it more inviting. And then we added a junk ton of cabinets in this property.
Yeah, nice cabinets, man. I just wanted to get the glimmer of this. What type of interior this is? I know it's not. Granted, it's probably more affordable, but it looks really nice.
It's a quartz equivalent. Okay. I'll say that.
Which I like a lot better than the laminate.
Yeah. So this hard surface for sure.
The hard surface, I'll tell you guys, it looks a lot better than laminate. I know there's a lot of quartz out there that looks, comfortable to granite and still give you that hard surface look. So yeah, this is awesome, guys. Let me zoom up and show you a little bit of the ceiling. Got the recessed lighting up in here. So yeah, that's nice. Make sure, I know people get mad if I don't show a full view of the space, so y'all get a good idea of how it looks. So let's go a little bit. Let's go while we walk into these other rooms. Maybe talk a little bit about, you said you did 4 or 5 rehabs. Within what you said, the last few years you did.
Right. So this is number 7 or 8 property. But last year, I bought 5 literally at one time, like probably weeks broken up between each other. And it was crazy because, and one thing that people say with real estate, as long as you're consistent and you stay at something, things will follow, right? And that's kind of what happened for me last year, right? So I set the goal at the beginning of the year, 2022, I'm gonna rehab 1 property. I partnered with a few people, and we basically set out to accomplish those goals. And within a month's time, we picked up 5 houses all at once.
Oh, awesome. So when you say you partner with people, these are like people so I like to keep it transparent with people. So you might not have all the funds, so you partner with people so y'all can go in, or you might not have all the knowledge because you haven't been doing this for a long period of time. So you have people that kind of help you as a mentor-ish, or no?
Yes, my realtor has always been my mentor with flipping, but with the partner side, it was more on the financial side, right? Okay. So it's kind of shielding the risk, a sense, or sharing the risk, right? Especially buying 5 houses at once. Was some risky business, right? Especially last year, interest rates changed kind of midway through our projects, and we bought a lot of these houses whenever interest rates were around like 4 or 5%, and when it came time to sell, now they're at 6 or 7, That's a huge difference on a house that you're trying to sell for $400,000.
All right, let's look in here. There was this one of the guest bedrooms or something. I'm not guest bedroom, like secondary. Excuse me if I get my terms off. Okay, nice carpet in here, guys. Little closet. Perfect. All right, let's go to another one while we talk here.
So this is the primary bedroom.
Nice primary bedroom, sweet. Closet as well.
Yeah, so this is a smaller house. It's 1,100 square feet, 3 bedroom, 1 bath, and the closet sizes are pretty comparable with the comparables in the neighborhood.
Right, because every neighborhood is not going to have a large home, so this is a good starter home for people, or like you said, comfortable for the neighborhood. Because as we know, every neighborhood is not a $500,000 neighborhood. It's real estate. It's a broad range of homes that you can sell and purchase. So, and one thing I like, because I feel like sometimes people are looking for just only what I consider the sexy homes, real large homes. But these smaller homes, it's profit in every home.
I love Pasadena. So this might be my 5th house in Pasadena, actually. So I love the area. I can get houses here for cheap and sell them for a decent amount, and the demand here is chaotic. If you can find a 4-bedroom, 1,800 square foot house in Pasadena, buy that and flip it, you'll be doing fine. You literally get, I don't know, probably 50, 60 showings on one of my last properties here.
Man,
we'll probably get at least 40 on this one, 40 showings and a few different offers, I'm sure.
Man,
but
that's good. See there, that's a gem right there, guys.
Yeah.
Because don't always go for something you think is, like you said, knowing the market is a big thing. So
yeah.
So what is your best and your worst? Let's start with your best deal that you've done so far.
I would say, so it's one I just purchased actually about 2 weeks ago actually, and we were in contract to purchase that back in February of this year. So we were supposed to close back in February. It was a divorce house, and they were having some issues, some disagreements and stuff. So I actually had to end up hiring a lawyer because they were we were leading to failure to perform. But that one's in Sagemont area. I bought that one on market actually, and that one's gonna be, we bought it at about 65% of ARV. So that's probably my best deal that I've purchased so far.
And that one's already sold and done, or you?
No, so we just started that one. That one I'm
Okay.
actually gonna hold on to. So I plan to hold on. That'll be my first flip that I hold on to and turn into a rental.
Burr?
Yeah, so my first burr. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, which is your best one that you had done? Because now you say you did. So out of the 5 that you started off with, you completed. Are those complete? The ones you did last year?
Yeah.
sold?
So those are complete. We purchased them last year, sold them last year. The best one that I did last year, I would say, was in Sagemont area as well. And the family, we bought it from a family. We fixed up the house and then actually resold it back to them.
Oh, man.
So it was super interesting. Yeah, that was a very interesting transaction. We had several different partners on it. So I mean, the profit was pretty much kind of spread out, but I would say the reason why that particular one was, I would say, my best is because we were providing a product for the old homeowner and making their home more livable and kind of enhancing their lifestyle.
All right, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
So, no, we just talked about the best. So what's the worst experience that you learned from flipping? Because, like you said, man, I almost went broke.
Yeah.
So I like to keep it real transparent for my audience. So what's one lesson that you learned, or something that you learned since you've been doing over the last 2 years?
Knowing your numbers on rehab. So last year I bought a house located on Oasis Drive. And you think like, oh, it's on Oasis, like it's gonna be nice, it's gonna be chill. It was the complete opposite. So for that particular house, and this is another reason why I'm grateful that I had partners on other projects, because if I didn't, I would have been screwed. Last year I had a house in Westbury by NRG Stadium, very known neighborhood. But basically, we thought, whenever I went into that house, I thought, okay, rehab is gonna be around 55,000. But I didn't even have my plan for that house together yet. I didn't know I was gonna be moving a restroom across the house, or adding in a new closet, or adding in new bedrooms, or having to do all this stuff to electrical. There were so many things that like snowballed, and we basically were double over budget. So yeah, so like our budget doubled basically, right? So it was supposed to be 55, we spent $110,000 on that house, rehabbing it. And on top of that, we would have recouped everything, but that's when the market shifted. And that was gonna be a higher price range for those houses. So we took a decent loss on that property, but it taught me so many lessons, because that was the first house that I GC'd myself completely. So I was there working my 9 to 5 in a house that didn't have AC for like 3 months in the middle of August.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like 95 degrees. But I loved that experience, because then I was able to kind of see and understand, okay, this is how much this costs, this is how much this costs, and I can kind of see how people work and get an understanding of that. So I mean, I think it was definitely worth all that, the money I lost, the tears I shed. On our open house day, we were still cleaning the floor, like, because there was paint everywhere. Because the day before open house, I had all my friends come, and we were painting baseboards, painting doors, because the house wasn't complete yet. I hired a contractor, or I guess a subcontractor, and he took on way more than he could handle, but I needed to get that house sold. So I had 12 of my friends show up, we're painting doors, but then we're not professional, so the floor was like extremely dirty. So we had people, I don't know, there's probably like 15 people that came to the open house. They're like stepping over us, and like, cause the open house still had to go on.
Right.
But we were still cleaning the house. So I mean, I think it's all about timing, knowing your rehab, and not trying to set up things before things are completed, right? So like for that open house scenario, I should have said, you know what, no, we're not having an open house today, let's have it next week or the week after that, right? So it's like, it's really about knowing that stuff and kind of getting your timelines together.
So, you know, we here in Houston or Houston area, so I'm just gonna tell our viewers that you know that out here, like the new thing is new construction. And they make new construction seem like the easy and the sexy thing to do. And a lot of people, to me, I hear are steering away from flips. But what I know, I'm not a real estate professional, but what I know is that flips, your return on your investment is usually going to be a lot faster compared to new construction, because especially in the city, you got a lot of permitting. You know, just the time to build a house is usually going to be at least 4 to 6 months, even if once you have the permitting done, right? So what kept you kind of more into still doing flips, or you know, like why you took that route over? I know you've been around a lot of realtors where they're like, just do new construction.
Yeah, so I mean, I will be honest with you, I want to dibble and dab in new construction, like that is an ultimate goal of mine, but with flipping, it is a lot faster, right? You can acquire 3-4 properties at once, get them going. They can be in different areas to kind of hedge your bets slightly as well, right? So like right now I have one in Humble that's on market that we're closing on. We're closing for the sale of it at the end of this month, at the end of November 2023. But you can literally hop in a house, fix it up within a couple of months, have it listed and sold within, 6 months time frame, which with a lot of loans linked to flipping, you typically get 6 months. You have some lenders that will give you 12 or 9, but a lot of the loans, hard money loans specifically, have that 6-month term. So you almost have that short timeline inherently built into your project. Because if you don't sell it by then, you're gonna get all these extra fees and all this additional stuff, and then it makes it far less profitable, right? So you have that already built-in timeline, which inherently does make it go by quicker.
Oh, that's awesome. So any hard money lender that you recommend, or someone that you've been utilizing recently?
Yes, I mean, for a lot of my flips, I've used FlipCo. And I would say they're good for first-time flippers and seasoned as well. I've used them. Right now I'm using some private money, but I've done, out of all the flips I've had, I would say that Flipco has probably funded 60 to 70% of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, that's what I would recommend. But you have Searchers Capital, you have a lot of other firms as well. But one thing that you would need to ask, like if you are evaluating a hard money lender, ask about their fees. Is there a draw fee? That's the first question I ask. Is there a draw fee? Okay, there's a draw fee. How long does it take for me to get my money? Because if there is a draw fee, that means that they want to come and actually inspect the property. They want someone to come here and inspect it. When that typically happens, it takes about 5, maybe even 6 days to get your funds back. And if you have several projects happening, that could kind of slow things down a little bit. Flipco, the one thing that stood out about them is they didn't have draw fees, and they were able to get the money to me faster because I think they distributed 2 days out of the week. So that did make things slightly easier. And then you just have your points whenever you purchase it. So like whenever you do purchase a flip, you have to put down a certain percentage as a down payment. And then they charge you a percentage for them lending you the money, right? So let's say they lend you $150,000. They'll charge you typically 2 to 3% of whatever they're lending you. You have to pay down on top of your down payment that you make at the closing table as well. But those are like the two major fees that Flipco had at that time. And it kind of just made more sense for me with the different flips I had.
Another good question I feel. So this is for my audience out here. So if you just say, hey, you know what? I want to get into real estate. I want to test out flipping. I have no background in real estate. What would you say the first thing you should do? Because with you are a CPA, so
yeah,
you really didn't have a background in like real estate and construction, did you? Or?
No, but I mean, I would say for years, right, I followed the markets.
Right.
And there have been times where I had opportunities to buy and I got cold feet, right? And that could be something that happens to a lot of new investors, right? And I think me partnering with people, me getting mentors, me getting perspectives from other people that are in the field and doing the thing that I wanted to do is what encouraged me to make that leap. Like before I bought my fourplex, I'd been fighting to try to find a property for 2 years before that and was in contract to purchase probably 3 or 4 different properties, and me walking it and doing all this other stuff talked myself out of it and ended up not getting them, right? And so when I started putting myself around the right people in the right rooms, that's when it started feeling more comfortable and far more reachable and less intimidating. And that's where I am now. And now I'm addicted. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like if the numbers work, I'm gonna try to find the money to buy it immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk to the numbers. So on the fourplex, like how much you cash flowing, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so for that one, each month after my reserves, after my bills that I have, because I do pay for water and stuff, I'm cash flowing on that one about $1,200 when it's fully occupied. And that's below market rate rents. So I mean, that property, I'm never selling that. Like I got it at a 2.75 interest rate. I'm holding on to that thing until it falls apart, honestly.
Right, that's awesome. So that's the only one you really like just cash flowing off of right now because you just flip. So big question people ask about flipping is like, I guess what's the word, the taxes are like, is there any penalty when you purchase a home, rehab, and you make, let's say 40,000, is there any tax? You know, people say there's
You'll have to pay capital gains tax.
Capital gains, that's
yeah.
what
So short-term capital gains tax. Yes, I mean that is a risk that you run in with flipping. The ideal situation is for you to kind of hedge that, though, right? So one thing that I'm doing this year is for one of my properties, I'm holding on to it, right? So if you have a rental, if you have some other properties with your rental, if you there's 2 different clauses with rentals, right? You can depreciate up to $25,000, or you can reduce your taxable income up to $25,000 if you're what they consider a non-real estate professional. And that's someone like me, right? I'm working full time, even though I may look like I'm a real estate professional, in tax terms, I'm not.
Right.
In order for you to be a real estate professional, you have to be in real estate at least 51% of your time throughout the year. So you have to be super active. And W-2, if you're typically W-2, it's more difficult to argue that you're spending 51% of your time in real estate if you're W-2.
Right.
But if you get that classification, you can write off your income up to $150,000.
Oh, that's low.
Yeah, so that's where people really can make some things happen. And the big thing that allows you to do that is depreciation. And you really only can do depreciation if you're holding on to it long term. Even though these short-term houses, like I still used to have to depreciate it, but once you sell it, you have to kind of pay some of that depreciation back. But yeah, I would say blending the two, right? Trying to hold on to some, selling when it makes sense. Like if it can't cash flow, whenever you buy it, I would try to get rid of it, personally.
Right.
There are some instances if you're trying to build equity in the property and things like that where it does make sense. Everyone has different financial goals and objectives. But for me, for a property to be held on for long term, I'm trying to make it cash flow as much as possible. And if it cash flows, then it makes sense. So the one house I talked about earlier that involved like the divorce and the lawyers in Sagemont area, that one is going to cash flow once everything's said and done. So I'm gonna hold on to that, and then that'll allow me to kind of write off some of the gains that I'll have from the sale of these properties.
All right.
Or at least my taxable income with my normal job.
Give us a little detail, Jamel.
Yeah, welcome. This is one of my other properties. We're actually in the middle of construction on this. This house is a little over 2,000 square feet. When we originally purchased it, it was 3 bedrooms. But by the time we finish, we're gonna push it to 5 bedrooms and it'll have 2 bathrooms.
That's awesome. Let's walk in and show a little bit of this property.
Yeah, so the previous owners, they converted the garage into some more livable space. So that's where we're actually adding in the bedrooms. You'll see once we get inside. But the carport was in really good condition, which is something that's important, especially if the garage is converted. Whenever buying a house, let's say you do plan to convert the garage, try to incorporate a carport or some kind of covered parking. And then also you have to bring in a storage in the backyard. A lot of buyers are gonna want that because they're gonna want their cars to be covered and they wanna have a place to store those outside things. So this house had both of those. And so that's where it just made sense, right? I wouldn't go back and reconvert this to a garage, and it still makes the house somewhat comparable to the other houses that may have a garage, just because it has those added features of the carport and the storage in the back.
Right, that's awesome. So let's take a look inside.
For this house, we are literally in the middle of construction. And you can see here, we have our electrical roughed in. We're adding some recess cans throughout the house, basically opening up the space, making it real nice, bright, and inviting. Whenever we acquired this property, there were walls here. So this was super closed in. You came in and like you would get slapped by a wall. And so we knocked those walls down. Those were load-bearing walls, so we had an engineer come out to let us know what size beams we need to install, making sure everything is up to code. So there's 2 beams that were installed at this property, spanning from this side to this side. I don't know how the hell my contractor got it in there without tearing up all of the sheetrock. I think they took it through the entry here from the attic. But they're probably what, I would say this is probably 24 feet.
Yeah, we're somewhere around
about 24 feet. So about 24-foot beam that we had 2 of those installed in this property to allow us to open up this space. And so this will be the new kitchen. We'll have almost like an island here. We're gonna close off this opening. We'll close off this opening, have an island here, your stove, your fridge, the sink obviously overlooking the backyard, but just basically opening up this space, making the living room and the kitchen kind of combined, but adding that separation with the island, and then having your breakfast nook here. in my latest flip that just hit the market. This house, complete transformation. It took us a few months to get through this, but basically we had walls starting here from right here to there, opened up the space, just made it a completely open concept and modernized everything. All new floor, all new baseboards, retexture all the walls, new cabinets, countertops. One of my favorite parts, actually, and we'll have to move it around a little bit, but one of my favorite parts is this here.
I love that.
Wireless charging for your phone.
Oh man, let me see that. Oh, that's dope.
And then got the plugs and switches there too. But let's check out the master. So we did customized built-in cabinets, painted them, made them modern, added knobs on it to align with the kitchen as well. This space was a lot small. So the issue with this master was that there wasn't a lot of closet space. So we reimagined the layout, expanded it, and incorporated this hallway in there and added in custom shelving to make it more classy feeling, to say the least. We kept the restroom the same format. It was a decent restroom, just refreshed it. Obviously did tile, new tile, new floor, countertop, vanity, etc. But let's check out the rest of the house. Yeah. So this house has now 4 bedrooms. It first started off with 3. It also has a flex space, so an additional office as well that can be used as a 5th if they want to. But this is just one of the bedrooms. One thing I do with all my flips is that I use carpet in the bedrooms. This one, to elevate the space a little bit because it was a smaller master, we did carry the vinyl all the way through there, but it just makes the completion a lot faster. So that's one thing you want to consider if you are flipping. Yep. Yeah, 3 on this side.
He owns a construction company. No, he works for a construction company, but he doesn't.
If we come over here, this is when I first acquired this property, it was a complete open space. So what I did is added in an additional bedroom, additional closet, and then an office as well. Let me get out your paint. Yeah. And this is an additional bedroom we added. Decent sized closet in here. Yeah.
If they can start working with the lender now to get them on the track, yes.
How much for this house? I need to get that house sold out. Fuck, I need future houses.
I have my client, Lisa. If I can sell her basement house to you.
And then we got a nice dining space here. And then one of the biggest laundry rooms I've ever been in, personally. Yeah, so we added a custom folding table and then also built a platform for people to place their washer and dryer on. So it's a little bit elevated, a little easier to access. Yeah, we tried to go with a more bolder choice. Majority of my houses are just white and black, but wanted to bring in some color and make the space a little more fun. And then it is raining outside, but we can check out the backyard if you want to. Yeah, so covered patio. We redid the landscape out here as well. and basically just refresh the backyard to bring it back to its former glory.
Nobody got to fix your deck, so days like this,
Yeah.
so you're not wet.
Yep. Yeah, you can still host parties out here, even if it's raining. You know, completely dry underneath this space, so it's nice.
Real nice, great job.
Appreciate it, man.
Man, that was another awesome episode with Jamel, man. He's doing this thing out in Pasadena, flipping houses, man. That's amazing. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, do all that. If you listen to the podcast, make sure you tap in, download every episode. Man, we appreciate it. Out later.